11 minutes past 8. And it's a message in the bottle, special edition of Eye on the World with Salwan Manning, a Gaza special, in fact. That's why we've got that wee tune there, and that'll become more apparent towards the end of the feature. G'day there, Salwan.
Yeah, good morning, Glenn.
Good morning. Yes, now it was been a couple of years ago since the big news broke about the flotilla and the boarding by Israeli special forces. And the reason why we're talking about Gaza today is because a new flotilla is planned.
Yeah, that's right. The Israel government's blockade of Gaza, if we kind of hone in on that, it's been enforced for 5 years, and this really came to public awareness, I guess, when that Flotilla 1, the Freedom Flotilla 1, sailed in 2009. Since the government of Israel established that policy, no vessels apart from those that the IDF puts through or allows through have been able to enter those waters off Gaza. So despite this, Glenn, 2 New Zealand citizens, Hamet Sudin and Vivian Persault, they are now in transit to the Mediterranean region. They're intent to board a Canadian vessel that will take part in Freedom Flotilla 2. Now, that's an aid mission, just like the first one, intent on getting into Gaza waters. And just as a brief into that, 45% of those people who live in Gaza are unemployed, with the territory being unable to create opportunities, obviously, for its people. Humanitarian aid organisations and peace activists, they've been attempting to breach that blockade and deliver food, clothing and medical supplies into the Gaza Strip. So that's the background to the intention of Hamet Sudin and Vivian Persault in entering into this initiative.
Okay. And of course, back in 2009, as we just mentioned, the Flotilla 1 attempted to go in there and deliver that aid, and of course it all went wrong.
Yeah, it all went wrong. The Israel Defence Force commandos, they boarded the Turkish vessel Mavi Marmara, or I should say that again, Mavi Marmara, killing 9 aid workers in the attempt to stop that vessel from breaching the blockade. There's a couple of clips there that are showing some of what was going on, Glenn, in that situation. Clips are the IDF, or the Israel Defence Forces commandos. They're coming onto the ship. They've got their weapons already cocked and ready to go. The planned mission was clearly well advanced as far as knowing, the layout of the ship. The other clips that are coming up, they show from the point of view of those on board the ship, and that you can see that they're retaliating with sticks and throwing things, and they're being met with fire coming across from the IDF commandos that are on the ship. Now, all of this became huge, huge news, obviously, at the time. And once again, the Israel Defence Forces, they put out their own kind of video material on that, and it showed the vessel that they were targeting. It could, it's all in like black and white, kind of like a negative type of thing. You got the helicopters hovering above, you got the commandos dropping down onto it, others coming in by way of those commando vessels, and really stalking out the place, taking and seizing that ship and making sure that it was not going to actually make land in the Gaza ports. And like we said, 9 people lost their lives during that manoeuvre. It was justified by Israel by saying, its blockade is there for a reason, to ensure the security of Israel and that no arms get through. And the aid people on the ship were saying, there was nothing but aid and medical supplies that we're going to go through.
Yeah. And Noam Chomsky, of course, well-known commentator on these matters, had a little bit to say about it as well, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Now, Noam Chomsky, he talked about, the international law aspects of this, and really said that Israel, well, there's a clip here, actually, of him, Glenn, where he can say it for himself.
The flotilla, which you all read about, that's multiply criminal. For one thing, attacking ships in international waters is, of course, a crime. It's a violation of every principle of maritime law. Killing people when you do it is even a worse crime.
That was Noam Chomsky there.
Yes, Noam Chomsky. Now, he was clearly highlighting what many people were kind of evaluating at the time. There were United Nations inquiries into this, but since Flotilla 1, since that incident, the situation for innocent civilians in Gaza, it just has not yet improved. Gaza, for example, is the sixth most densely populated place on earth, Glenn. There are 1.6 million Palestinians there that live in virtual poverty. 70% rely on humanitarian aid to survive. Now, on that last point, some land-based humanitarian projects, they have been able to get into Gaza. Like, for example, on Sunday, this weekend just passed, the Miles of Smiles aid convoy made it across the border into Gaza, and it delivered apparently 30 tons of medical supply and goods. And also, the Israeli ambassador on television here in New Zealand last night was saying, there are ways of getting aid in should individuals or aid organisations wish that to occur. So it's an interesting kind of thing. But because of the naval blockade, what we do know is getting assistance through to Gaza's people via the sea is most difficult. From the Israeli government's point of view, the whole mission of getting aid through by the vessels is to confront them, to challenge the state of Israel. From a humanitarian efforts point of view, clearly it is, you can get a lot more aid and material in to the people of Gaza when you get a ship docking at a port.
So that brings us back to message in the bottle, Selwyn.
Yeah, it does a bit. Now, over the weekend, rallies have taken place in Europe. Participants have been showing support all over the place. So this Freedom Flotilla 2 is really getting some momentum and some publicity already. We've seen that in New Zealand ourselves on Scoop. We've been running, a lot of information that has been coming through to us from the two individuals that have committed and put their hands up to take part in Freedom Flotilla 2. And to recap, this flotilla, it will comprise of 12 vessels carrying citizens from all over the world, including, like we were saying before, Hamid Sudan and Vivian Passault from New Zealand. They left Auckland International Airport last night, destination Greece, and there they'll board their Canadian ship, the Taru. Now, last night, and also through last week, I've been in email exchange myself with the Israeli embassy in Wellington, seeking a response from its ambassador to New Zealand and whether or not Israel would block the Freedom Flotilla 2 from entering Gaza's waters, and really asking questions, I suppose, Glenn, on why it may consider the aid convoy's mission to Israel as a breach of its own security.
Did you get a response at all?
I've got plenty of responses, but we're waiting for the ambassador to sign it off, and I understand that statement will be issued this morning, so it'll be up on Scoop with this clip as soon as it is.
Okay, all right. Well, that was a Gaza special for Eye on the World with Selwyn Manning. You can find this as a video once more up at scoop.co.nz. Selwyn, thanks very much.
Okay, mate. See you soon.